Norway, this land of fjords and trolls, is one of our absolute favorite places to travel. The natural beauty here is just astounding to us, and it offers a unique experience every time we go here. With the extremely rugged landscape all throughout the country, it's normal to wonder if you can even travel through Norway by a means other than air. After all, traveling by air is both time-consuming and expensive. Well, there is another solution. The train. VY operates services that run all over Norway, and we decided that we wanted to try out this service on the Bergensbanen, the train running between Oslo and Bergen. There are 3 daily trains on this route, as well as 1 night train. We were taking the middle service that left the station around 10 in the morning. From our very quaint accommodations in the hotel attached to the train station, the Comfort Hotel Grand Central, we made our way out to the platform, a mere 5-minute walk. We waited for a bit before our train was backed into the station for its run up through the heart of Norway. Our journey today would take us south out of Oslo, looping around the city center and turning towards the nearby city of Drammen. There we would take on more passengers and then turn north before heading west into the mountains. On the way we would make stops at several stations, including Hønefoss, Gull, Al, and more until arriving at the highest point of our journey, the Finse station. From there we would start making our way downhill, passing through Higest, Myrdal, as well as Voss and Arna before finally arriving in Bergen. The entire journey would take just over 6.5 hours. We boarded the train and trundled out of the station right on time. We were thankful that it was such a beautiful day as well. We knew that this journey would take us through some spectacular scenery in the lowlands and some amazing views in the mountains. While you can use this route as a sightseeing adventure, the train itself is set up as a long-distance service. There are a few different fare classes that you can purchase. The first is a compartment class. Each of these VY trains has compartment cars with 6 seats. The entire compartment does have to be reserved in order to get these seats. But at the end, the price ends up being about the same as booking 4 standard seats instead of 6. So if you're traveling with a large group of 5 or 6 people, you can save some money with these compartments. Another class of seating that you can get is the standard seating. These seats don't add a premium to your price, and you'll find yourself in a 2-2 configuration, fairly standard for a second-class European train. This is the class that we traveled in. In addition to the standard class, there's also a plus class, which is basically the first-class ticket. These tickets cost about 50% more than standard class. For this price, you get in-seat power and free coffee or tea on your journey, as well as some extra legroom. The thing is, the seating configuration in plus class is exactly the same as standard class, 2x2. For most first-class trains within Europe, you'd expect to not only get more legroom, but a wider seat as well. This is not the case on VY. That being said, we didn't choose to upgrade our seats for this journey. Regardless of which seats you get, you also have access to free Wi-Fi on board, which was actually pretty decent as far as train Wi-Fi goes. There are sections of the journey, though, where the Wi-Fi gets turned off. This is because we're either traveling through numerous tunnels, or you're at such altitudes that you really can't get a signal. Most of this train route is in extremely rural areas. However, for our journey, it was maybe 30 minutes to an hour that the Wi-Fi was turned off. Overall, the seats themselves were very comfortable, and we didn't have any back issues after our ride or have to shift frequently and get up like you might have to on other train journeys just to stay comfortable. The legroom in the standard seats was also fine for us. However, if you're over 6 feet tall, you might want to consider getting the plus class for extra legroom. For most travelers, though, this seat will do just fine. The tray table is also a decent size for standard class, and we were able to fit all of our snacks and drinks and laptops on them without any issues. There's also a mesh basket and an adjustable footrest on the backs of the seats in front of you. Above your seats you can also find reading lights, and each seat is equipped with adjustable shades for the windows in case the sun gets a bit too strong. Now, the seats themselves might be comfortable, but the ride was not quite what we expected. This train goes extremely slow, and given that we still made it to our destination on time, we're thinking that this is a common occurrence. Not only was the speed on the track slow, even when we were going as fast as we could, but we found ourselves having to deal with so much other traffic. Between Oslo and the mountains, it seemed like we had come to a complete stop every 20 minutes or so to let another train by.
Vi har fått et stopp I påvente av kjørsignal under oppholdet ble utgangsdørene holdt eller lokket. We are stop waiting for signal clearance and gonna have exit doors closed. Thank you.
A lot of this is because there are many single-track sections on this line. It's just not possible to move too many trains through the Bergen line at one time. The quality of the track also left something to be desired. There were a lot of rough areas and tight turns that made us hold on to our seats so we wouldn't slide out. There were only a few sections like this, but it's definitely enough to make an impression. Now, we don't want to paint the wrong picture here. We did have a very pleasant journey, but we feel like we'd be doing you a disservice if we didn't at least mention these parts of our experience. On board, you'll have the option to take part in the catering. Unlike some other trains, there are no service carts or in-seat deliveries for food. However, there is a restaurant car. You can purchase sandwiches, wraps, snacks, hot and cold items, pastries, and a wide selection of beers, ciders, soft drinks, and more. We did find that the prices on this train are a bit higher than what we found in the train station, but that's pretty normal for trains like this. You also have to keep in mind that Norway is an extremely expensive country, so when you pay $20 for a cold wrap, a bag of chips, and a soda on the train, you should be prepared for it. We knew to expect this, so we did buy snacks at the grocery store before boarding. For the catering service, you can find a full menu offered on these trains on the VY website, along with nutrition info and prices. One thing we can definitely say about this journey is that it offered us some absolutely amazing views of Norway. The heart of this country is not really where people want to go when they visit. Generally, you'll find tourists on the coasts or in the fjords. This train offered us the opportunity to see what the middle of the country is actually like, and it was every bit as breathtaking as the coasts. Of course, it's no match for the fjords, but still, we could not keep our eyes away from the amazing views. There are beautiful blue lakes and streams everywhere, which are bordered by amazing pine-filled forests as far as the eye can see. In the foothills of the mountains, the train will actually climb up the sides of these valleys, offering some amazing views at the fields and lakes below. It was not expected at all, but it was very welcome. A few hours into our journey, we started noticing that the vegetation was melting away, and we were surrounded by rock and moss, and even snow at times. It was the late summer, but at this altitude, even the summer sun could not get warm enough to melt all of the snowfall from the previous winter. This landscape was beautiful, and we especially liked the glacial lakes that formed up here. It was quite a sight to see. Eventually we reached the highest point of our journey, Finse station. This is actually the highest station in the entire Norwegian rail system, sitting at a height of 1,222 meters, or about 4,000 feet. The small village is a popular destination for skiing and other winter sports, but it's also an important hub of research, expedition training, and survival training. In fact, Amundsen, Scott, and Shackleton, all explorers of the Arctic regions, used the harsh winter environments found at Finse to train for their famous expeditions. We didn't spend very long here, but it was so interesting to think that this place is harsh enough that Arctic explorers and researchers can use it as a proxy for the poles. We rolled out of Finse and started heading downhill towards Bergen. One of the stops on the way to Bergen is also famous, but for different reasons. This stop is Myrdal. Myrdal has its claim to fame as the highest point and terminal station of the Flamsbana railway. The Flamsbana runs up and down the mountain into the fjord below, into the little village of Flam. Flam is an extremely popular tourist destination, and is also one of the busiest cruise ports in all of Norway. We had a chance to ride the Flamsbana Railway on this trip, one of the steepest in the world, and we had a great time. Be sure to check out that video in the link down below. Myrdal is the signal that you're nearing the end of the line and only have about an hour to go before you're in the seaside city of Bergen. So how much did this journey cost us? We've already told you that we decided to go in the standard class of travel, but we also want to give you what you can expect to pay if you choose to go in a compartment or the first class equivalent on this train. For us, the round-trip journey cost 2,496 Norwegian crowns, or about $225 for the two of us. For a compartment with 6 people, you could pay as little as 4,198 crowns, or about $380. That's only $64 per person for a round trip. That's quite a deal compared to the nearly $550 you would pay if you were all in standard seats. Just another reason to book a compartment if you're with several people. If you want to do the same journey in the plus seats, which is basically the first class with the same type of seat, but more legroom, you can expect to pay 3,546 crowns, or $321 for 2 people round trip. If you absolutely need the power in the seat or the extra legroom, this might be worth it. Plus remember, you get free coffee. It's up to you to decide if this train journey is worth it or not. We thought that it was worth it just to have the experience. We would never travel through the center of this country without the train, and we would never have had the chance to experience the beautiful landscapes and surreal mountain views that the Bergen line has to offer. Worth it or not, it was certainly one heck of a trip. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.